So the way media availability works here at the NBA Finals is a team will practice and then they have to come in and meet the media. And PJ Tucker did that for the Bucks. And then Drew Holiday came in next, and here's what happened.
Somebody sitting here before me?
He did.
Makes sense.
Sweaty?
Yes. Extremely. No, it's okay. I'm gonna go shower. I'm gonna go shower after this as well.
Yeah. We'll go to Eric to begin.
It was so wet. It was like I was like, okay. Yeah, okay.
Drew Holiday.
Well, look, there's certain players that have like glandular issues.
Oh, stop.
What happened if
we made you choose
players that just sweat a lot?
What if for the next segment we made Perk and Richard switch seats?
No, God, no. First of all, but I'm just saying, like, there's certain players that like don't sweat. Then there's certain players that sweat a lot. You like sit. You're like, do you got to get a towel to wipe off like the bench? Like, who was sitting here? It's commonplace. It's commonplace. Commonplace.
Concept for us.
We got to keep getting better in order for us to put ourselves in a position to win the series.
We know it gets rowdy in Milwaukee, but I think we're ready for it.
Antetokounmpo draws the foul, banks it all. He will not be stopped. He throws it down. Cameron Johnson. Giannis Antetokounmpo punishing the Suns back-to-back 40-point final games.
Game 4, we got to break it. We got to play together. We got to believe in our winning habits. We got to stay aggressive.
We are back here in Cream City, Milwaukee, which is, of course, called Cream City because of the cream-colored bricks used in buildings around the city, and that is on their uniforms. We are also back with Mr. Zach Lowe. Zach, thank you so much for jumping in with us. We miss you here on site, but I am thrilled to discuss a little bit more of the breakdown of Game 3 and how things can change in Game 4 with you because, look, the Bucks really turned things around, especially on the defensive end. More efficient, held the Suns to lower three-point field goal percentage. So did your outlook of how this series is going to go change, Zach? Because Perk has already changed his prediction. He had Suns in 6 before Game 3, and now he's flipped to Suns in 7. Did yours change at all?
Way to go on the limb, Perk.
No. I had Suns in 7 to begin with, and it was 2-0 Phoenix. I kept saying, Milwaukee's figured some stuff out. They're going home. I expect them to win Game 3, and now I kind of expect them to win Game 4. I thought this was a very evenly matched, competitive series, and that's what it's been. The total score is Phoenix +3 through 3 games. If anything, the one thing that surprised me is, did I think Giannis was capable of that? What he did in games 2 and 3, not quite coming off that hyperextended knee. And if he's capable of that, this series is definitely competitive. Game 4, I'm crossing my fingers we get a classic, but I think we're going back to Phoenix 2-2. I'm sticking with my Suns in 7. I'm not changing my prediction. No changes allowed.
What you mean?
Oh, yeah, no changes, Perk. You hear that?
I mean, it's a difference if I changed my actual pick. All I did was extend the series, and here's why. Because if you look at games 1, 2, and 3, they all been blowouts by the home team. It's never come down to a possession by possession, and I feel like this is going to be one of these series where each home team is going to win their game in good fashion. And unfortunately, Phoenix has the home court advantage, so Game 7 will be played in Phoenix, and Phoenix will close it out then and win the championship.
So I'm still not sure that this gets to 7, but first of all, I just want to give a little acknowledge to Zach. Like when Zach is here, it's like basketball class. Like he's a professor of basketball class.
Amen.
Like, just take the compliment, Zach. Like take it, okay? Like you're very good. And it's so refreshing when I have to sit next to Perk, but I am not changing it. I have said Suns in 6. It's always going to be Suns in 6. It might be Suns in 5 after they win tomorrow. So I don't think anything happened. I said might. I'm still not changing my thing. I still think it's Suns in 6, but I think the Suns, they have to tweak some things because Milwaukee gets better as the series goes on, and if they get that 2-2, then I start to think kind of like that Dallas Clippers series where now you start to look at them like, wait, the Clippers might win this. If this is 2-2, then I think the whole momentum goes straight to Milwaukee.
I mean, that Suns crowd might have something to say about it, but
yeah, I know those people.
We'll see. Mr. Phoenix. I do want to get to, Zach, your article. It's up on ESPN.com right now on DeAndre Ayton. And I love sort of the in-depth that you go here. You're talking about his development as an NBA player from his rookie year to now, how his presence is felt, especially on the defensive end in these finals. And in fact, you can take a look. The Suns plus minus this series, plus 20 when DeAndre Ayton is on the court and Giannis is not. It is, of course, the opposite. Giannis on and Ayton off. Well, the Suns are a minus 21. So, Zach, we saw, and we talked about a lot on the show the last 2 days, the foul trouble Ayton got in Game 3 and how that impacted the series. What do you think that Ayton can do as we go forward here besides just don't get the whistle?
I think he just continues to do what he does. I mean, he needs to impact the game on both ends. We saw him. He was beasting switches in the post and getting quick duck-ins and rolling hard to the rim. And he's gotten a ton of credit for that on offense and all the sacrifice. But it's the stuff on this end that, to me, really stands out. Look how he manipulates Drew Holiday. Kind of jabs at him, then baits him into that pass and intercepts it. He's manipulating people now in pick-and-roll defense. That is surprising this soon in his career. Here's another one. Drew gets some daylight here. Look, he stays right in between, plays that cat-and-mouse game, disrupts that layup. This is super advanced stuff for a guy who's still just 22, and it helps to be really freaking big. I mean, what comes up here, this isn't anything fancy. This is just DeAndre Ayton being big and say, I'll take that, thank you, let's go back the other way. And to me, that jump that he's made on defense, the offense, that's all cool. Phoenix is not sniffing a championship if their center is not a really good defensive player anchoring what has been one of the 5 best defenses in the NBA all season, and he needs a lot of love for what he's done on that end of the floor.
And I talked about it, and I agree with Zach. I talked about it at the beginning of the series that I think that if you look at the best players in this series, it would be Giannis 1, Chris Paul 2, Devin Booker, and then DeAndre Ayton. I think that those 3, and when you look at DeAndre's impact, if he's not doing what he does, it's going to be very, very hard for the Phoenix Suns to win because he impacts the game on both ends of the floor. Not like Giannis does. Obviously, Giannis is the MVP and Defensive Player of the Year, but he has that same type of impact where he is affecting shots. He is making it more difficult for Giannis. And then on the other hand, his ability to roll, great hands, lobs, posting up smaller players because they don't have a lot of depth at the size with Saric. So it gives him an advantage on the post up, especially when Giannis is out. So I think, like, to Zach's point, he's just got to continue doing what he does.
You know what? We already knew that he was so skilled. We knew he was talented. But what I'm witnessing, especially throughout the playoffs and now in the finals, is that he's finally playing like a dog, right? The killer has come out of him. And I saw a couple of clips where Zach was talking about how smart he was in the pick and roll. That comes from actually studying film. That's sitting down and watching film. When you do those little stabs at Chris Paul and have him, or Drew Holiday, have him second guessing whether you're going to step up or not, that's film study. So now he's becoming a true student of the game. And I'm just giving you that from experience from a guy that anchored the defense for 10 plus years in the NBA and was a specialty at it.
Well, I think it's also a good example. I think it's also a good example, too, that especially big men in this league need a minute to develop because DeAndre Ayton got a lot of criticism his rookie year, right, especially on the defensive side of the ball, right? And here Zach is doing a detailed breakdown of how great he is on the defensive side of the ball. So I don't know how the James Weissman experiment is going to end up going in Golden State or anything else, but I would just say that we don't know right now because you didn't know for sure about DeAndre Ayton in year 1, and now we can see now that he's had this time to learn and progress, and he's applied himself. It's made such a huge difference. Zach, I don't think when Dario Saric went down with that ACL tear, it got quite enough play. But when we look at the center position and when we look at what Giannis does as he goes inside, remember, 100% of the points he scored off the floor in Game 3 were from within 5 feet of the basket. What can the Suns do to sustain and withstand that Giannis onslaught? Because Ayton, even if he doesn't get into foul trouble, can't be on the court 100% of the time. And with Dario now out for the series, how do you see that going down?
First of all, Perk's going to like this. Shout out Mark Bryant for the work he's done helping DeAndre Ayton on both ends of the floor. One of the great assistant coaches in the league with big men. Look, they might need DeAndre Ayton to play 40, 41 minutes. He's done it before. I mean, it may just be that simple. Stay out of foul trouble. Maybe you shift him off Giannis here and there to give Jay Crowder that assignment just to protect him from foul trouble. But they may need to just minimize the non-Ayton minutes to 7, 8 a game and hope you can tread water in those minutes. And it's not just Sarge. Remember, Torrey Craig got banged up from taking that charge on Giannis. The Suns are getting thin. The more thin they get, the longer the series goes. The more I worry about is Chris Paul going to wear down a little bit. Who can withstand the minutes load? And both teams are pretty thin. I mean, I'm kind of glad they have these 2-day gaps between games, get everybody rested and ready to go. But yeah, those minutes when Ayton is on the bench, you better believe Giannis feels the difference between a 7-footer being out there and no 7-footer I got to worry about being out there.
Going to be so interesting, the chess game, as this series progresses. Zach, thank you so much, as always, for being with us. We will see you again later in these NBA Finals. Everyone else stick around, because here on The Jump. So in an interview on the Smart Less podcast, LeBron James said, quote, "I truly hope I can finish my career with the Lakers."
Here you go.
Perk, do you think that will indeed happen?
Yes. Where's he going?
Towards several other cities around America, so I don't know.
He's not going anywhere, Rachel. Look, LeBron need to keep a cool booty. He out there in La La Land.
Booty?
A cool booty, okay? Meaning sit down, stay still.
First of all,
I got to break everything down.
Yes,
in your
I don't
lamest
speak the
terms.
same dialect
No,
as you.
we showed on.
Okay.
Showed on.
This is the funny thing. It's like, Bron's like, I hope. Let's be real. At what point in time has Bron ever hoped for something? Bron's going to be wherever he wants to be at. So, congratulations, Lakers. Just heard this.
Let's talk a little Pelicans, though, because they are inching closer to hiring their new head coach. They are working on a deal with current Suns assistant Willie Green. Woj had that report. So, Richard, do you like this hire for Zion and the Pels?
I do. Like Willie Green is a guy that, we came into the league around the same time, and, just being around him and watching the way he competes, watching him go straight into coaching, and really just being a student of not only the game, but of the coaching game. So many people speak highly of Willie. I haven't experienced him as a coach like I have like Jamal Mosley and some other people, but everyone speaks extremely highly of him. And the Phoenix Suns, they've been doing a great job.
Well, I do. I think it's a great hire, because if you look around the league, especially the last 4 teams that were left standing, 3 of those coaches were former players. So now they're seeing that, hey, these younger guys that we have in the NBA are relating to former players that have played the game of basketball. So I love it for Willie Green. He's a two-time champion. He's been around. He's paid his dues. He's respected. I know Kevin Durant respects him.
Yep.
He's a guy that he endorsed and said that he should get this head coaching job.
Well, look, y'all know I've been Team Spoon this whole time. They've been looking for a new head coach. I think Teresa Witherspoon should have a larger role in an organization where the players already love her and love working with her. She is just a champ in every way, and I think she should get a head coaching shot somewhere in this league. But I will also say, Willie is just a fantastic choice.
Yeah.
I mean, he's terrific, and that is a great way for the New Orleans to take the Pels. I said the Suns.
It happens. We've been talking about them a lot.
Yeah. It's a great way for the Pelicans to take the next step, because they got to at least make the play-in tournament next year. It's just...
You can't have 2 all-stars on your team and Steven Adams and other talent and not make the postseason, because that's just disrespectful to the game.
Let's talk about Finals MVP odds, gentlemen. They were updated after Game 3. 2 clear front runners now. Chris Paul is still the favorite at -230. He was up there by himself for a long time, but now Giannis right behind him, plus 210 there. Perk, you are a resident gambling expert. Who are you picking for Finals MVP right now?
I'm going with Devin Booker. I picked him before the series, and I'm going to stick with him now. Plus 1,200. I might go drop $100 on that, because if he win, that brings back a lot of cash. Putting money on CP3 or Giannis don't bring you back a lot of money. Just some little education for you.
Can they do co-MVPs?
We discussed this during the break.
Quit straddling the fence so much.
I'm just asking a question.
I'm saying,
could I ask a question?
No,
the answer, you asked the question. We told you no already.
Man.
I'm going to go with a dark horse. I'm going to go with Chris Middleton.
Now you're just... What are you doing?
What?
Nothing.
Why are you mad at me?
He is. He's very ridiculous.
No, okay. Look, okay. All kidding aside, those are the numbers. Like, they know more than I do. Who's my pick? No, I think it's going to be a sleeper. I'm going to say it's not going to be any of those 4 people.
Well, he said Devin Booker, so there you go. Thank you to our guests, Bobby Portis, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Jay Crowder's coming tomorrow.